Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's 258 days until Christmas 2025. Oh, and you know what? I did a replay of last week's video where I first introduced the upcoming theme song for whenever Matt Risman is able to join us as a guest. And you know what I realized? I realized you guys couldn't hear it. When you guys are saying stuff like, well, I look forward to when I get to hear it. Well, that's because you couldn't hear it. So I went in and I found out how you find it. What was the problem? I found the problem was the audio source for my audio for the stream was the wrong one. So let me play for you the Matt Risman theme song. One day, Matt says there's no need to fix it. Well, there certainly was. So here's the Matt Risman audio theme song for whenever he's able to join us as a guest. We'll say straight from the land of Mordor comes to us, Matt Risman. Is fixed. We have it fixed so you can hear it. Thank you all for being here today. As many of you know, we'll start right off the top. Yesterday, my wife had surgery for breast cancer, and that surgery went well. I appreciate all of you who checked in to see how she was doing, how we were doing. The surgery went well. She's recovering. Now we wait to find out how those lymph nodes come in. If the lymph nodes come back cancer-free, then we will be somewhat out of the woods. So thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. And just to say hello, Mike Yaney. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Star Wars Fits. Greetings from sunny Ireland. Well, it's sunny there today, you say. We have not had a whole lot of that here in central Ohio, but good for you, Fitz. I hope you have a great evening, a great weekend. And this guy here, I'll tell you what, you know what? I'm not a huge fan of a lot of these ships in Star Wars, especially a lot of the more recent fan kind of driven ones. But even that daggum Oshimir, that's got to be the worst ship in all of Star Wars. I hate it. I hate it so much. And now there's this Diedrich Harn thing coming out. Terrible. I'm just telling you, I don't like it. So there you go. There you go. Matt Risman. Tell you what. Let's see. Andre. Thanks for being here. We're doing quite well. Thank you so much. Appreciate your being here today. And then who else has been able to join us? Anybody else? Jedi Geek. Hello. Good to see you as well. Thank you for joining the stream. And you guys may be hearing Peanut. There she is. Peanut's right there behind me. She hears us talking, and she wants to be part of the show. So she's kind of taking perch right back there, right behind my head, and she likes to sit on the chair here. So, guys, we've got some Star Wars news to talk about today, and we may even get a special guest here in a little bit, but we'll find out. Let me. I put a poll in the chat about would you like to see a Star Wars Santa rant video about the Into the Light High Republic novel? I just finished this book, and it was released the first of the month, so it's only been out for a short amount of time. I just finished it, and boy, they did something in that book that made me unhappy. I was an unhappy boy, an unhappy Star Wars fan. I've been reading through all of the High Republic novels, and I'm current on all of them. There only 2 novels left in the entire series. There was Phase 1, that was sort of the middle portion. Phase 2, which was the prequel to it, and now Phase 3, which is the sequel. And all of it is supposed to wrap up this summer. There's 2 more books, one in July, I think one in August or September, that tie up the whole thing. Well, Into the Light did something that made me mad. Made me mad. Matt Risman knows what it is, but I don't want to provide spoilers here. I know my friend Kieran is reading it or has it on his to read list as he gets there. And I don't want to spoil it for Kieran, but I'm thinking about doing it as a separate video, one of the members only kind of things, and putting right on it, spoiler for High Republic Into the Light. What do you think? Would you like to see it? I see 57%. We only have 7 votes, so we'll let this go through the stream. 57% say yes, 29% say, I don't care. 14% say no. So we're not going to do it here for sure, but we may do a separate video later today to release for members only. We have a series for members only here on the YouTube channel for 15 minutes with Santa. So that's where it would go. Claudia Gray is a good writer. Well, I'm mad at her right now, Kieran. I'm she's on my naughty list. She's right above Matt Risman. You know, Matt Risman, he's always at the head of the naughty list. But right now, Claudia Gray has kind of surpassed him. She's definitely on my naughty list. I'm very unhappy with her. Okay. We've got some Star Wars news, and some of it is sort of breaking news. And let me start with our friend Bespin Bulletin. Bespin Bulletin released 2 stories today, just this morning, afternoon for you all over there in Europe. But Bespin Bulletin, the first story we have here, they released today, was reliable insider confirms Jesse and Jody are on the list to possibly star in Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. Now, this story has been evolving. When we first heard it, there was these rumors that said, "Oh, Jesse." No, I think the first one was Jody, and Star Wars Meg did a great video on it where she talked about how Jody played Rey's mom in the Rise of Skywalker in just a very, very short scene. And they could use her in different contexts. They could maybe do a backstory to The Force Awakens, something like that, or just cast her in something entirely different. Well, then we heard about Jesse later saying he may be a villain in an upcoming show, but movie, in Levy's movie. And Jedi Geek says, is Sean Levy making the trilogy or just the one movie? Levy, I think, maybe doing a trilogy is the rumor. There's the Shabade Shinoy movie. I just said her name wrong. The Ray movie. That's a standalone, just one. And I think that we have John Levy doing a trilogy. Anthony, I'll get back to you in a second here, Anthony. So, but let's Saber Smith. Hello. I can't stay, but wanted to say hi and hope everything's going okay. Thank you so much. And there's KG. She posted on there, but she must have caught it where I covered it already. So I appreciate the question, KG, and thank you for being here. All right, let me go into this story because Bespin covers this really well, and the story comes from a typical source. It's the Hot Mic with John Roca and Jeff Snyder. It says, "Is Mrs. Claus doing all right?" Yes, she's upstairs resting. She's getting some sleep. She's really, really sore from the surgery, especially under her right shoulder, where they took out the lymph nodes. And she's very right-handed. My wife is extremely right-handed, and anytime she moves the shoulder, it causes her a good bit of pain. So she's resting, and she's doing okay. Thank you for asking, KG. But so in the Hot Mic, with John Roca and Jeff Snyder, it says the latter, that would be Jeff Snyder, shared what he had heard regarding the aforementioned stories, the rumors of Clemens and Comer casting. Said he shared neither have been cast. And I think that's an important point here. Let me just, I see that looks pretty small. It says neither have been cast at this point. But he says they're on a list, right? They have a list of actors that they would like to get into the movie or movies, whatever the case may be. And both of them are on that list. There are many others, I am sure. And what are the roles? What's the time period? Really, the biggest question we have with the Levy movie or movies are when exactly and who exactly are in them. I know Matt Risman likes to give me a hard time about the Ray movie, or when we will see Ray in another movie, and will she be in Sean Levy's movies? And to what role? What amount is she going to have? A major role, minor role, or not in it at all? We don't exactly know. We know the time period is supposed to be after the sequel trilogy, set within 10-15 years, which makes it definitely within Daisy Ridley's era, let's say Ray Skywalker's era. But will they have her in it or not? We're not so sure. So anyway, you go back here, they're on the list. But added it wouldn't be them, but added that it wouldn't be them necessarily be cast in the roles. So they have the roles. They're like, okay, we need a guy to do this. We need a lady to do this. You know who would be great for this? And they have a name, and they have a list of names. Who would be great for this? They have a list of names, and they're working through those. Maybe they'll take the roles, maybe they won't. Those are things that have to be worked out with their agents and with their time, time when they're available and all of that. That Snyder seemed to pour some cold water on the possible casting due to Comer's portrayal of Skywalker's mother in The Rise of Skywalker, despite Levy's fondness for the actress. However, Snyder was more positive when it came to possibility of Clemens as the film's main antagonist. Snyder shared Clemens' casting more believable and that it was just a matter if he wants to do it. And then here's the full quote. Neither have been cast. They're both on a list. I can say that right now. I've done reporting. They're both on the list, but it's not them necessarily. But again, with offers, it's like the offer hasn't been sent yet. But the offer's getting sent like on Friday. That's just for instance, that's not a thing, right? Perhaps. So some of it's just semantic. It says with Comer stuff, she was in Force Awakens. Says, I know Levy really likes her, obviously with Free Guy and everything, but I don't know if he'll get his way because she's already played Ray's mom. And as Meg covers, we've seen actors cast in different roles in Star Wars before, so it wouldn't be a first time for that. Um, so there's that. But clearly, it's casting up. Levy's movie is going to go, and Clemens versus Gosling would be cool. Now, this is the other part. Ryan Gosling's rumored to have been cast in the movie. There's some maybe desire to have him in the movie, but we do not yet have confirmation that he is in the movie. So that's an important distinction. So there you go. Let's get caught up with your chat. Let me go back just a little bit here. I saw Anthony came in, said, with the history of Star Wars, honestly, I'm starting to agree with Campia when I see tangible evidence of the movie actually filming. I don't believe it exists. I think it's a rumor. I think, that's a safe thing to say, Anthony. And I think that's a healthy attitude to have. It's nice to get excited about the possibility of something, but to get our hopes too high might be a mistake, right? So it's definitely, like, tamp down the hope just a little bit, maybe get excited about the possibility of the thing happening. But it bears noting that we kind of hyper focused on Star Wars here, and we look at Star Wars and all the movies that have been announced or possibilities of movies. And if you look across Hollywood as a whole, and you look across the industry as a whole, there are entire movies that get shot. The budget is spent. It's wrapped up, and they never make it to the theaters. Happens all the time. Also, there's scripts that are bought. There's casting that has been made, but they never actually make it to film. That happens all the time. So within the industry, Star Wars isn't unique in saying that these things have been announced and don't happen. So we kind of get upset about it. But Star Wars is not unique. What makes it unique is when they come out on stage and they give you a list that, oh, we're doing this movie, this movie, and this movie. Bring actors out and say, hey, we've cast this person and that person, this other person. And then that never happened. You get a bit of a sizzler reel with Patty Jenkins on the rollerblades out there on the Air Force Base. And you're like, oh, it's going to happen. But then it never happens. That's what makes it unique, because most other studios don't come out and like parade out all these things that are pre-production and tell you that, hey, well, these things are going to happen. They wait until they actually do. So I think it's better to do that. Yeah. KG is absolutely correct. We hear about it because it's Star Wars and it would leak anyway. And I think maybe, well, we're going to talk about Celebration here in a little bit, but around Celebration, we got our hopes up that they're going to give us updates on all of those things. And I'm afraid Lucasfilm is saying, you know what, we've gotten burned on this before. How about we don't do that? So we might not get a lot of the things that we would hope that we would get through that. Tough luck. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you for your comment. I hope Disney is smart to let the first teaser trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu go online after the panel at Star Wars Celebration. Amen. I'm with you, Tough Luck. Let's do hope that they finally release that in full following Celebration, or in concert with, parallel with, right? That they release it in the panel, and simultaneously or shortly thereafter release it out for the rest of us. That would be a really, really smart, a really good thing to do, because as mentioned before, these things are going to get out anyway. I don't care if you make everybody turn off their cell phones and swear allegiance. They will not release these things people will still record it and release it. It's going to happen. Just do it. Just let them out, right? Disney must market the film like Force Awakens, not Solo. Well, you're not wrong. I still think that the Filoni movie and the Kinberg movie are the same project / trilogy and will come out first. Ooh, no, I don't think so. Filoni's movie hasn't been written. And you can say the same about Simon Kinberg's movies, his trilogy as well. But I don't think they're the same. So you're thinking maybe that Filoni's going to write it and Kinberg's going to shoot it. I like where your head is because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, we'd like a Thrawn trilogy. And if all of this other stuff is setting up Thrawn, and we're going to get heir to the Empire in some fashion, then that's a trilogy of books. And how about we do that? That would be awesome. That would be cool. Let's do that. I like what you're thinking. I really, really do. I just don't know. Maybe we can make that come to fruition. I just don't. I don't think that it is. What is this? It would be dumb. April 18th is also Superman Day, and they'll dominate that day and release a trailer. Well, that doesn't make it dumb. Certainly will get a lot of traction on Superman Day. I mean, that's big. We've already seen that teaser from Superman make it out. The trailer, it's already out. You can watch it. It's not even pirated, right? They released it. The studios released it. I got a link from AMC Theaters that said, "Hey, go watch it," and then you can watch it. So on Superman Day, there certainly will be some traction for Superman, but we're in Celebration, and Star Wars Celebration is going to get a lot of press anyway. It's going to lead a lot of stories anyway, and it would not be bad. The other thing about Celebration that's a bit of a problem is that it's in Japan, and that's great from the perspective that Star Wars has always underperformed in Asia. Japan, China, they're notoriously low viewership. And by taking Celebration there, you're trying to get the audience in that part of this planet engaged with Star Wars, excited about Star Wars. And you're like, look, we're bringing Star Wars to you. And they've gotten a lot of studios to do the Visions animated pieces. And they're trying to get directors from that part of the world involved in Star Wars. For those of us who are like 12 plus hours, 11 plus hours off of that schedule, and when they're doing something at say 5 p.m. and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, they're doing something at 1 p.m. They got this panel and they're going to release this information in this panel at 1 p.m. local time in Japan. Well, we're not going to see that. It's going to be at, dark in the morning, middle of the night. So it would make sense to maybe get it out there so that when people wake up in the morning and they turn on the YouTube machine or the Twitter box, right? That X thing. When they turn that stuff on, you've got Star Wars front and present. I think that makes a lot of sense. That I geek. What do you think the Sean Levy movie will be about? Jedi or non-Jedi? Ooh, this is a point I brought up a little bit with Star Wars Meg, and I think that there's a bit of an issue in that if it doesn't involve lightsabers and it doesn't involve the Force, viewership is going to be lower. It's a problem they have with Andor. We're going to get to Andor too in just a minute, but I think that it needs to involve lightsabers and the Force. So I hope that Sean Levy's movie is um, Jedi. I hope that it is. I'm going to skip right over this guy. Nope, not putting that. Fitz, hello. Seems like Into the Light on Audible will be released on the 15th, so he has it pre-ordered. I also have it pre-ordered, but I also got the Kindle version, and I read it, and now I'm regretting my Audible purchase. Uh, but maybe I'll soften over time. Maybe after this whole thing wraps, I'll be able to go back and listen to the audio version of Into the Light, and not be triggered, right? Maybe. Uh, it shouldn't be released. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me get caught up with the chat. Yeah, still hoping for that Ryan Johnson trilogy. You're not wrong. You're not. Let's see. Hey, there's Baymax. He's driving, but listening in. Thank you for that, Baymax. It says you're right, which is why they should release the Mando Grogu teaser to overshadow it and take his thunder in the night. Yeah. Yeah, I think they should. I think they should. They're not going to overshadow Superman. No way. Well, again, my argument against that is that trailer's already out, right? That Superman trailer where Crypto takes him to the Fortress of Solitude, and the robots treat Superman, and you see the monsters and all the things. That trailer's already out. What else are they going to release on Superman Day in addition to that they've already released, right? I don't know. Star Wars Dog. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for who let him out? What are you doing here? That's good to see you. Would you like to see a Christopher Nolan Star Wars movie? Oh, sure. Yeah. I would. Let's see. Kimberg's writing his own trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Matt, I don't think he's doing the Filoni trilogy, right? To that, right? At this rate, the Mando Grogu movie won't even release in Asia. Well, it might be blocked in China. With this tariff stuff, they'd already said, well, we're gonna block your movies too. How about that? Or we're going to put heavy tariffs on them, whatever, right? Look, I'm not going to get into all that nonsense, and that's how I see a lot of it is nonsense. We've got tariff things going on that make no sense to me. And look, I have an economics minor. I studied global economics, and without getting too much into it, I've got a degree in economics where I studied Russia and the territories that broke out, Ukraine and Kazakhstan, and all of those things. Not jumping into that foray. I'm not getting in the middle of that. It'll be morning here for them to say, yeah, Fitz is going to be. It works out a little bit better for our friends over in Europe. Livy's going to direct one of those, and now it'll be the Mandoverse crossover. Tokyo's 13 hours ahead of us in Eastern time. Yes. It might actually end up being a little bit better for our friends on the West Coast that are like 15 hours. Because 1 p.m. would be like 4 a.m. 15. 1 and 5 is 6. Look, Dana can math. It'd be like 6 a.m. right? For us, it'd be like 3 a.m., which is not as conducive. Hello, Mumbo Jimbo. Good to see you. Me, the wife, and 11th-month-old kiddo are leaving for Japan and Star Wars Celebration this Sunday. Oh, how exciting. I'm thrilled to death for you that you get to go there. I hope you have a great time. Japan is a place that my wife and I want to visit. We've had Japanese foreign exchange students live with us, and we would love to go visit them in Japan someday. It's on our list of places we'd like to go. Let's see. Let's see if I can get caught up with the chat because we've got some other stuff. There is an extended Superman trailer that was shown at CinemaCon. That's what I'm talking about, Matt. They already released the CinemaCon trailer. It's already released. I put it in my Discord. AMC Theater sent me a thing that said, "Hey, did you miss CinemaCon? Do you want to see that trailer that they released of Superman? Click here." I said, "Okay," and I clicked on the link. It said, "Here's the CinemaCon trailer," and I pulled it up, and it follows the things like John Campea and stuff reported on that Superman trailer. It's out there. It's in they released it. It's my goodness. When do you think we'll see the first Old Republic movie? That's a good question. I don't know that we ever will, to be honest. I don't know that the Old Republic will ever get released as a movie or even a live action series. I think your best hope for Old Republic stuff is animation, but even that is probably less likely than maybe getting an update to the KOTOR video game. So I saw that comment, Kiaran. So here we go. We're gonna switch gears just a little bit because our friend Bespin also covered this story, and it's the British Film Institute on film festival lineup includes the original release print of Star Wars and Twin Peaks pilot episode, blah, blah, blah. Well, the thing we care about is the original release print of Star Wars. And it's important that we note that is oops, wait, I clicked on the wrong window. It's Star Wars. It wasn't A New Hope. It was just Star Wars. And we read in here, and Meg covered this as well. Star Wars Meg covered this. And she asked some really good questions about did this go through George? Did George Lucas approve this? Did Lucasfilm do this? I don't think either were necessarily involved because this is the British Film Institute. They may have had to run it through Lucasfilm. I don't know what all the rules are for that, but this is important to read. So this comes from bfi.org.uk, and we can kind of see what is going on with what they're doing. This is a festival where they show some historic films in British from the vault, so to speak. And that's important to note because they say, we're delighted to announce the program, spelled wrong. Those English, they don't know how to spell. Oh, I'm joking. This is the program for the second edition of the BFI Film on Film Festival, BFI Film on Film Festival, taking place at BFI South Bank, BFI IMAX from 12 to 15 June. So coming up here in the middle of June, opening with Star Wars 1977, publicly for the first time in decades in its original 1977 version. The one that I saw when I went into the theater when I was 10 years old and saw Star Wars for the very first time, 1977, July of 1977. My birthday, I turned 10 years old that summer, and I got to go see Star Wars in the theater. And it, blew my mind. But so it says today marks the 35th anniversary of Twin, blah, 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 blah. You keep going. And the story tells you more about, here it is. The prints in this year's program have many stories to tell. And here's the important part. It says, there's the original, unfaded, dye transfer, ID Technicolor, British release print of Star Wars 1977, preserved in the British Film Institute National Archive and ready to transport us to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, back to the moment in 1977 when George Lucas's vision cast a spell on cinema audiences. So this is the British Film Institute showing something from their own vaults. This is part of their national archive, and they're pulling it from their national archives to show. This isn't something that they got from Lucasfilm or requested or anything like that. Now, this is where I don't know, is this, go back to, did they have to get permission from Lucasfilm? Did they have to get, authorization from George Lucas to show this? Or since they're in their national archives, and this is the British Film Institute's film on film, right? Like, this is their own festival. If they're just using their resources to show something they own, I don't know. I don't know how all that licensing works. I'm absolutely clueless. Let's see. I get caught up with the chat again because I see you guys are still going. Let's see. Hopefully never for the Old Republic. No touchy, right? And I know where Star Wars dog is coming from this, and I somewhat agree. I think Star Wars is better, and Lucasfilm is better to tell new original stories. And if they jump into the Old Republic time period and they tell an original story that doesn't match up with what people have played in the video games, doesn't match up to what the people have read in the novels and expanded universe, it's going to meet with a good deal of blowback. and so they're kind of forced to either tell the stories from expanded universe and in the video games in a way that fits within that, or get a lot of blowback. And I think they'll just avoid it. I think that's the smarter move. As popular as it would be, I just don't think they'll do it. Yeah, China accounts for about 3% of the global box office. Their audience would not be missed. Well, they'd be missed. I mean, it's not an insubstantial number of people, but you're not wrong either. Is George Lucas Museum open yet? It's not. It's I think it opens. It's soon. Maybe even this year, but it's not open yet. There was an additional Superman footage shown in CinemaCon above the 5-minute extended look that was publicly released. Okay, so you're saying CinemaCon showed 2 trailers? Is that what you're telling me? That CinemaCon, they played the trailer that then was released, but then they had another trailer that was even more than that they released separately? Or you're trying to say that CinemaCon released a Superman trailer that was, so this long, and then post CinemaCon, they released the CinemaCon trailer that was only part of the CinemaCon trailer, and then on Superman Day, they're going to release the CinemaCon trailer that was all of the CinemaCon trailer. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, I hope they show it over here. I think they're only going to show it in that festival, Fitz. So you're going to have to get yourself a ticket, get yourself down to London, and go watch it over there. Do you think they'll ever show an extended or send an extended version of Revenge of the Sith in the future? Are you planning to see the movie in theaters this month for the 20th anniversary? Yes. I think in the future, we'll eventually see the original Star Wars released. We'll see the expanded things released that George Lucas has kind of said no, and his desire to not show, say, the original theatrical release of Star Wars, because he says it was an incomplete movie. It wasn't done, and it's only part of what you should have seen. So it's not really the real Star Wars. You need to see the real Star Wars. You need to see the one that I did. We're like, well, wait a second, George. When I went into this theater in 1977, and I fell in love with Star Wars, was my imagination was just blown you're saying I'm not allowed to watch that again? He said, well, you can go watch it on VHS. Really? It's 2025. I've got a VHS player in the basement around over there somewhere. I don't even know if it, truly works anymore. And never mind the fact that I have to go get a VHS that's not degraded, that has, because VHS degrades over time. And you can't watch it in a theatrical version, that even if you owned it, because it's degraded. Come on now. But I think they will. And I'm going to go to the theater this month and watch it for the 20th anniversary. I'm not sure, with my wife's surgery and with other stuff going on. Maybe I just can't. I can't commit to that at this point. Mike Yaney, there he is. Hello. Greedy. Wait, it's replaying. I saw these before. If I missed your chat, I'm sorry, because it went back to the very beginning again. Let's see. Let me get caught up. Yeah, there's another ILM coming out on the 18th. It's coming right up. We're getting another episode of ILM. Excited for that. Is there a way to do the Old Republic right? There is a way to do it right, but I believe Disney is incapable of doing anything right. I love it. I love it. We don't see eye to eye on, Disney, but I get it. It's all good. It's all good. They had some footage tacked onto the trailer that was released as an extended look. Okay. The Superman thing. I would bet that they'll make movies in the Old Republic, since they officially confirmed the timeline as canon. They're making Dawn of the Jedi. That's before that time. Well, time will tell. I just don't know. I don't know. There's more crypto footage in addition to the other crypto footage. Who are you pulling for in the Masters? Oh, dog. I have a tough time because, well, we're not talking about golf, but that I don't really have a favorite. Uh, Part of me would like to see McIlroy do well. His daughter did that putt the other day, and that made a big thing. But I sort of would like to see, an older guy. McIlroy's been around for a while. I'd kind of like to see him, but he probably won't. Anyway, I would like to see it. Matt says he wouldn't mind to see Justin Rose win. Yeah. So how do folks feel about the Mangold Dawn of the Jedi film? Well, I've got to learn more. For me, look, I'm a fan of Star Wars. I love the sequel trilogy. I absolutely love the character of Rey Skywalker. I want more Finn. I want to see Rey and Finn together, and more adventures following them, and the next generation that comes after them. I'm a huge fan of the Mandoverse. Love to see that. I love the Chiss. I would love to see more in like the Chiss Empire outside of the regular Star Wars universe. I'm excited about the potential of Peridia and what's going over there with Ahsoka. Ahsoka is my favorite Jedi of all time, and all everything. So, the Mangold Dawn of the Jedi film. Look, I'm excited. I hope that it's good. And I am sure that I will enjoy it. Do you think Palpatine makes Anakin have his bad vision of Padme dying? Yep. Yeah, for sure. Palpatine was kind of poking that fear, and causing that to distort Anakin's vision. So much so that when he's on Mustafar and confronts Padme and Obi-Wan, that he nearly kills Padme, right? Yeah. Oh no, look who's here. Hey, Nick, good to see you. Hello, friends. Sorry I'm late. I'm just here supporting a friend's content. Appreciate it. Nick's a good guy. But he likes to poke the bear too, though. I love it. I'll be sure to catch up. I missed on a rewatch of my own time. Well, thank you. And if you don't follow on Star Wars Meg's Discord, there's a there's a we have fun between Matt Risman, Nick, and myself. We're always picking on one another. So part of this is now, coming over here. And if you think there's some discontent, well, there is, but in a fun way. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. Do you think they'll make a movie that takes place hundreds of years after the sequel trilogy? I certainly hope so. And I think eventually they will. But maybe not right away, right? Okay. So we've caught up with that. There's another story that had broke kind of overnight and into today, and I want to bring this up. It says Tony Gilroy says Disney has a Star Wars horror project in the works. Oh, the Star Wars horror project. Oh, what would that be? Look, I'm not a fan of horror. Right? Horror is not in my genre. I not for Santa. I get teased by my family, my wife. Like I don't even watch the commercials. The commercials for horror stuff freak me out, and I'm like, no, I can't. Right? I'll have dreams of that. I don't want it. But what do they mean by a Star Wars horror project? Well, let's read just a little bit because again here and be like, hold on just a little bit. Hold on, let's wait. Andor creator and showrunner Tony Gilroy says Disney's working on a horror project within the Star Wars universe. And let's make this easier for you all to read. Says the showrunner briefly touched on the future of Star Wars when speaking to SFX magazine in March ahead of the final season of Andor. He joked that he'd like to see a three camera sitcom in Star Wars or a horror movie. And then he goes on to say, well, he was just, making stuff off the cuff. Like it wasn't like he really thought that was going to happen. He said, but asked what he would do with a Star Wars horror project. This is sort of a follow-up question. He said, Lucasfilm and Disney already had one in development. They're doing that. This is his quote. They're doing that. I think they're doing that. I think that's in the works. Yeah. So he doesn't talk about it because he's like, I think they're already doing a thing in that kind of space. Plus, we already know, he already said he's done, right? Star Wars for him, he's kind of out. So he's spent, look, we're getting 4 more movies, right? But Andor season 2 is really 4 movies. Plus, you've got Rogue One and season 1. Right? Like he's done a lot of Star Wars. And he's like, nope, I'm out. But not because he's mad or anything, just because he has other career ambitions. It says Disney did not immediately respond to a request for comment. It says Gilroy didn't say whether the project was TV show or a movie. He also clarified his previous comments. So here is what he said. I'm agnostic about what should be done. I was riffing on the thing where I said, oh, do a 3-camera comedy. I was riffing. Sometimes riffing doesn't work with the Star Wars community because they hang on to what you say. They think it's going to happen. But a Star Wars horror. What have you guys seen? Have you guys seen that? And I put it on the thumbnail. There's a cover for a new book featuring Darth Vader, and it's, let me pull this up because it's called Master of Evil. Let me open this image here where you guys can see. Right, this looks as Star Wars horror is almost anything I can imagine, right? Master of Evil. Look at that. Look at this. Doesn't that look horrific? Do you think that the Star Wars horror could be like that? Let's take Darth Vader. Like, look at that. Master of Evil. That strikes of horror to me. Now, do you suppose Gilroy could have been talking about this publishing bit, Master of Evil? Do you think this is well, we'll have to wait and find out, because this is one of the things that they kind of pre-announced for Star Wars Celebration. Master of Evil looks absolutely horrific to me, right? So there's that. All right. We're going along today. We're going along. I love this. The only horror I get is my electricity bill. Same here. Same here. Very good. Let's see. But yeah, this is horror. Absolutely horror. And we know we're getting that. The dark side gives us plenty of potential for horror stories in Star Wars. Agreed, Ihadga. Absolutely agree. I wanted to go through this, and if Meg was able to join me today, I was going to go through this with her. But Meg, and just so you guys, Meg contacted me earlier in the week, said, hey, she might be able to join. Contacted her this morning, and she said, well, I'm actually commuting back. I'm not actually sure I'm going to make it. So there you go. Meg is she's traveling, but we do expect to see her back here at some point. Also, I talked to Jason Ward this week, and he is doing well. I hope to talk to him again before too long. But so I thought I'd go through this because a Star Wars Celebration, this panel, it comes from March 14th. So this is old, but I think they continue to update it, because if you go through here, this actually breaks down a lot more. So I thought I would go through the schedule. They announced the major things, which I think most of us have seen, but I thought let's go through Friday, April 18th. So just next Friday. We're just a week away from Celebration, my friends, at 10 a.m. plus 13 hours. So like 1 a.m. in the morning, or in the middle of the night for us here in the East Coast. Says live on Celebration stage, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Join Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and special guests. So, expect Mando guests for a sneak peek at what's to come for The Mandalorian and Grogu on their biggest adventure yet. This time, the big screen and in theaters, 2026. So this is what we've been talking about. 1 a.m. next Friday, we're going to have this panel, 1 a.m. for me, right? Because, I live in the East Coast. 1 a.m. Will they release the Mando Grogu trailer following that? And I just want to make another note on this. If you haven't been following my channel, I can tell you, I have information that I can't share publicly. A lot of Star Wars content creators end up with some connections to people who are in the industry. And the same's for me. I have some connections to some people. And I could tell you, Matt says that would be 9 p.m. on the 17th. They're 13 hours ahead. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. is 12 hours ahead, right? Plus 1 would be 11 p.m. 10 plus 12 is 10, plus 1 is 11. You mean 11, not 9. Matt did the math backwards. They're ahead. Oh, is it? We got to go backwards. I see. Subtract 13. Let's subtract 13. So 10 a.m. minus 12 is 10 p.m. the day before. Well, minus another 1 is 9. I got it. I'm slow. Um, so anyway, I've got people who've contacted me and told me that don't expect big cameos in the Mando Grogu movie. We will 100% not see like Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. None of them are in the Mando Grogu movie. From subsequent discussions, don't expect to see Thrawn. Don't expect to see what's the latest one that came out this week where people are like, oh, yeah, and Meg covered this as well. Don't expect to see Hondo Onaka, right? Not that movie. This is not the movie you're looking for. This this movie is an adventure, all right? It's a Mando Grogu adventure. That's what it is. You're best off to think of this movie as a Mando Grogu episode that's been made into a movie, not part of the like Filoni setting up the Filoni movie, the Heir to the Empire. Don't think of it tying into Ahsoka too deeply, where Thrawn, he's back from Peridea, and he's hanging out with the Night Sisters, right? Don't just purge that. Think of this as being a Mando Grogu movie, right? Yeah, you have to wave your hand. This is not the movie you're looking for, right? It's not. It's just it's a different movie. It's a different movie. Oh Lord. Will the Mando Grogu movie be the last time we might see them? No, 100% not. Nope. They're definitely in Filoni's movie, which will be years in the future after this. In fact, I know things. I know more things than I can say. But I put it this way: I know how the movie ends. I know the end. Let's see. Let's get back to the story. There's a Hasbro Star Wars panel at 11:30 a.m. Join Hasbro team as they look at the latest Black Series Vintage Collection. Word on the HoloNet is there may also be a few surprises. May the Force be with you. Oh, boy, does this mean we're going to get an announcement of the next HasLab from Hasbro? And how much is this being affected by this tariff nonsense as well? Are your Black Series figures going to cost you $50 now? Cost you, $35.99 for your vintage collection because of the tariffs? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But what if you were trying to support a $500, $600 HasLab, and now it's going to cost like $950, $1,000? Like, you want to pay that much because of tariffs? What's going to happen? I don't know. But let's wait and see. A week from now, we'll be finding out about this HasLab or Hasbro with a few surprises. It might be nothing. Might be a nothing burger, which has been the case before with Hasbro. They love repacks and reissues. Oh boy, do they love them. They could make me happy by repacking and reissuing some more blurgs, right? I've already got a whole handful of them over here. I've even got a signed blurg from one of the folks at Hasbro. Look, I'm in for it, but we'll wait and see. Lucasfilm Publishing, Manga Mania. Oh, it's a big deal. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. live on the Galaxy stage. Take a deep dive into the past, present, and future manga stories. Past, present, and future manga stories from Galaxy Far, Far Away with authors, artists, and around the world. This is what I was talking about, trying to attract that audience from the other side of the planet that haven't been that engaged before. If we get uh, if we get manga with some of the most famous authors and artists, then maybe you get a new generation of Star Wars fans from uh, Japan and China and Philippines, right? Featuring all new announcements and reveals. Well, that's certainly exciting for manga fans. Uh, super, super exciting. Let's see what comes of that. Then 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., The Duel and The Pit. So this is going back and watching The Duel and The Pit from uh, previous season of Visions. So nothing new there. This followed by Q&A. So I'm sure the Q&A people be asking, are you doing more? And then 1 to 2 p.m., Light and Magic, a deep dive into Light and Magic. That's great. Lucasfilm Publishing Stories, 2 to 3 p.m. Latest publishing news from a prequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy and beyond. Oh, this is where that Vader thing is already been announced, right? Including news on the grand finale of the High Republic. Well, those books are still coming out. There's 2 more books. They're coming out in June and, like I said, August, I think. So here we're going to get an update, maybe covers of those 2 novels that are still coming. So more on that High Republic effort there. Here's telling stories across cultures, Star Wars in Japan. Connections between Star Wars and Japan go back to the saga itself. Of course, George Lucas took his inspiration from a lot of classic Japanese Kurosawa stuff, right? How it's made its impact on Japanese storytelling. They're trying to recruit more Japanese fans. Animation's 20th anniversary. This is where a lot of people are sort of getting excited. 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. So -12, -1, that's going to be like 2:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. Thursday night, waking up Friday morning to this, right? And it says streamed to the Galaxy stage. Can I stream it to YouTube, please? But it says join Dave Filoni and Athena Portillo as we celebrate 20 years of animation's critically acclaimed stories and beloved characters, including a sneak peek of what's to come. Oh boy. I hope they tell us some stuff. We're all dying to know what is the next big series. That kind of already leaked what this series is probably going to be. And I'm not sharing anything here that hasn't been shared, I think, more broadly. The rumor, and I think this came from Josh Lucas at Den of Nerds, is that this is going to be a Darth Maul. Think of it like Solo 2, except in animation. Perhaps that'll be it. Yeah. Oh, hopefully we get a nice sneak peek into that. Then expanding the galaxy through plastic models. Here's more stuff about collectibles. And then Doug Chang on designing Skeleton Crew. I'll look back to that. Love the Skeleton Crew. We know Nick is just waiting for the right time and for that beloved series to become a real Star Wars fan like the rest of us. Nick, are you still here? And then Saturday, they're going to do into Andor. Join creator, executive producer Tony Gilroy for a sneak peek into the final season. Well, you know what? There was a sneak peek last night, and there's been some things about Andor that have kind of gotten out there. And one of them has to do with a very brutal sexual assault. Okay? And that has been confirmed as part of the story. And what will be seen and what will not be seen, and how will it come across, we'll have to wait. Because some people have already come up with their opinion of it. I can tell you, I have already come up with my opinion of it. I'm kind of okay with the concept of them having a sexual assault in context of the show, but it's not something that I think they will likely go too heavy into. Um, ooh, there's a new clip. Shall we watch it? Shall we watch the new clip together? Let me get this. Hold on. I gotta pause it. I gotta move it over here. So let me move this over. They've been releasing these clips like on a daily basis now, right? So let's bring this up. Let me share on screen. Here we go. And then I've got to unmute it. Right, back it up. You ready? Here we go. Let's make this. Oh, okay. Here we go. We got Mon Mothma walking across this walkway here. I don't think you guys can hear that. Hmm. Let this play through. Oh, a lot of this we've already seen. It'll be crushed. Okay, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to take it back, and I'm going to. I got to open up my audio software here. Give me 1 second, and let me see if I can add. Um, it says it's already there. Let's see. Why can't we hear it? Where is it? Oh, where's it looks to me like you guys can't hear that. I'm looking at the audio meter. Yeah, it says no sound. So let me see. Where is this and why can't you hear it? Let me turn this. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna turn this down. This says browser, and if I look to see, let's see. What about here? Give me here. Let me try this. All right, we're gonna try. Let's see if this works. Hold on. I'm gonna be quiet for a second and watch the audio meter, and let's see if it reads better now. No, it's not. I can see that it's not. Oh no. Okay, I'm not gonna dwell on this too long, but let me see if I could try one more thing. Oh, try again. The browser. Um, let me try something else. Hold on. Yeah, this is just in the browser. Oh, hold on. Let me try it. Nope, that's all the way up. Um, it's in the mixer here. Um, the output is supposed to be going. Let me look down there. Okay. Look, I'm gonna try one last time. It either does or it doesn't. If it doesn't, I give up, right? And I'll work on it offline. I'm not gonna sit here for the next 20 minutes, have you guys, wonder if I'm gonna get it working or not. So let's try one more time and let me see what happens with the nope, it's not working. So I'm just gonna leave that alone. Leave it alone. For now, we'll come back to it some other time. Yeah, your lack of sound has failed us for the last time. I know. I know. I got to work that out. All right, so let's get back to here real quick, and then I do want to get into Andor. And we've got some fun stuff to talk about. Okay, we've got Ahsoka. We got some looks at Ahsoka. Then some art department stuff. Stars of Star Wars. This is where a lot of people were thinking maybe we were going to get more information about upcoming movies and things like that. And then here's a screening of the Siege of Mandalore from the Clone Wars animated series. After that, here's a panel with Respawn Entertainment, Lucasfilm Games. There's been a lot of news coming out about that in the past week or so, and I've been posting videos from shoot, my brain just went blank on his name. Azatru. And Azatru posted the other day, he was on his way to Japan for some exciting stuff. So we'll continue to watch Azatru's career with great interest here and see how that goes. And then there's a cosplay showcase. This is fantastic. Let's see what fans come up with. Here's a first look at Visions, Volume 3. I'm looking forward to that. And then some Walt Disney Imagineering, Mandalorian, and beyond. This is the next point. I think that we have a chance of seeing something else because they're talking. Oh, no, this isn't it. This is all about ILM. Then we get something on the Fett family. I think it's here. Nope. Here's Heroic Sidekicks, where we get Anthony Daniels, Ahmed Best, Alan Tudyk, Legacy of ILM, Star Wars Rebels finale, and then the closing celebration. There's something else in here that looked like maybe we would get more, maybe stuff on the movies. Let me see if I can just scroll up and see where I think they talked about maybe some of the movies. How to overcome challenges, blah, blah, blah. For seasons of Ahsoka. Art design. This is kit bashing and stuff. Animation. And they already said there's going to be updates on that. Publishing. We know there's some big things on publishing. Yeah, because there's no live action or movie panels. But hold on a second. Hold on a second, Matt, because there is a part in here. Hasbro. That's this big screen Mandalorian. Ins and out what goes to making master celebrity appearances, I saw something in here. I'm just not seeing it right now, so I give up. There is something in here where they did talk about some more movie news. So there is maybe more. I want to get into the Andor predictions because Matt Risman's been helping me out, and I want to show you guys what is coming and how this is going to work. I'm pretty excited about it because it's very dynamic. We'd like to do a predictions game here with every new show that comes out, animated, live action, whatever the case may be. But we have a bit of a unique issue this time with Andor in that we get movie length releases every week, 3 episodes per week. And how are we going to do the predictions with that? So I'm going back to an old concept of doing it via bingo cards. And the way the bingo cards will work is, and let me show this. I've been working on this form, and we can fill one out here so you get an idea what it looks like. So here is the card, and you just put in here who you are. So I'm just going to do this here so you guys can see Star Wars Santa demo, right? Here's the responses that are in right now. We've got a couple that I've done just like trying it out, but we'll do one live. And in here, you get the next question says, what will happen? And there's a whole series of choices that you can choose. What's going to happen in these 3 episodes? And it goes over the 3 combined. You have to pick 24 because there's 25 spots on a bingo card. In the middle space is a freebie, right? So we're including that as well. And we're going to call this your Andor card, right? ANDORBINGO. So these are your Andor cards. We're going to play Andor. And it's a variation of bingo. And there is a twist to it here. So you say, what are we going to see? Am I going to see TIE fighters? And here's another thing worth bringing up. If I refresh this form, you see TIE fighters, ISB, Darth Vader, Cyril, right? If I refresh the form, now it changes, right? So everyone's going to get different order. You all get the same options, but they'll come up in a different order every single time. And how it populates your form is based on the order that it comes in. And I'll show you that in just a second. So are we going to see subtitles in an alien language? I don't know. I'll say no. Tarkin, sure. Are we going to see a lightsaber? No, I don't think so. Mention or use of the Force? No. B2 emo, sure. A scene in Luthen's shop, sure. Cyril eating cereal. I say no. Darth Vader, no. A main character death. Yeah, we're going to see death. Lots of death. Star Wars slang. Somebody goes to say something like Nerf herder or Dank Ferrick. So, yeah, sure. A space battle. A space battle? Sure. Y-Wings? Sure. Death Star? Sure. What about U-Wing? Sure. Steve Palpatine. This is just a demo version, by the way. Right? It says right at the top, this is just in a demo. It's draft, right? So we'll create a new one. Blue milk. Are we going to see blue milk consumed? Sure. K2SO's conversion. Yeah. May the Force be with you, or I've got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, sure. More than one planet. Yep. Kino Loy. I'm going to say no. A trooper variant. Not a stormtrooper. Say like a shore trooper or something like that. Are we going to see a trooper variant? Sure. Yavin Base. Why not? X-Wing. ISB meeting room. Someone killed by a blaster. TIE fighters. A cameo. Like Harrison Dula or somebody like that. I'll say no. YouTube, sure. You see it says you need to select 24 responses. You see how the border is like red? Well, when you get 24, that'll go away. So Star Destroyer, sure. Gorman Massacre. I don't think so in the first 3. Senate Chambers. Yeah. Someone stunned by a blaster. Sure. Now, see, the red border went away. Now, what if I wanted to put something like, I'd like to pick one of these. Then now I don't have enough, right? If I do that, I've picked too many. So you gotta decide. Oh, I got to take one off. So you would do that, right? So once you're happy with the 24 you've selected, you hit submit. I gotta hit this back in. Star Wars Santa demo, right? Now I go back down. I've still got my 24 and I hit submit. Now you'll see there's a new response in the predictions. And if I go over, you'll see that it has already taken, here's my answers are here, and all of them are together, and it's taken them and it's split them out across all 24 spaces, right? So you'll see there you go, all the way across. Here are all the answers I picked. If I go now to the Andor cards, and let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole card, right? Here was the first one I did, just as a test. The second test, third test. Now here's the card that, oh wait, where's my, wait, where'd it go? Oh, oops. I skipped a line. I see what happened. Okay. Well, it's a good thing I did this. So now I can just take this. Hold on one second. I'm going to do a replace 6, replace it with 5s. Here, replace all, done. There. See, it went ahead and put all my answers directly in the bingo card. And you can, now when you watch the show, you can track along. You can, I'll make this available so you can see your bingo card ahead of time. And you can see where your questions lined up and count your spaces you got correct. And you'll see that over here is where it'll come up with your scores. And I'll show you how that works as well. Everybody gets 1 point because you get your free space. But when I go through the answers, what I'll do is I'll on this card, let's say we did see the Death Star, right? If I put it here, it shows up as a point, right? Now, if I go over to the Andor cards and we go over here, you'll start to see where, oh, look, there's an extra here. Somebody got a point. right? It'll count them up automatically. So if you said that you were to see the Death Star, right, it'll go ahead and show up immediately on the card. And then as I fill them in, oops, let me go back here. Answers. We saw Darth Vader. No. Moff Tarkin. Sure. Right. And next week. Right. Yep. Sure. TIE fighters. Yep. Right. We'll go through the show and I'll fill these in. I'm just going to put several of these in. Right. And every time something happens, I'll put it in the results. Right. And then when we go into the actual scoring, I won't be fuddling around with it, right? It'll just come straight in. And again, I'm just filling some of these in as an example for you guys to see. When we do the review show, we'll go through this together and say, "Oh, did we see somebody mention the Force?" And Matt Risman will say, "No." I'll say, "Oh, you're wrong." Say, "Thanks, Matt. Yeah, we did." And then Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding. Yavin Base, sure. I'm just going through here. Oops, that goes here, and filling in the blanks, right? And we'll just do that all the way through the form. And Star Destroyer, sure. I'll say no to that. No to that. Space battle, sure. And again, I'm just making up stuff. This isn't necessarily how it will play out. And visit more than one planet, sure. All right. So now that I've done that, look what happens. We go back to the Andor cards. Look there. And this is where I'm going to do this so it automatically comes up with the points, right? I'll do equals sum. And then I'll just pick like this range there, like that. There you go. 19 points, right? Then we're going to give bonus points. So if you get a full bingo line like here, right? You're going to get a bonus. So there's one bonus point, right? And we'll put the bonus points on there. Here's another one. Here's a bonus point. Anytime there's a bingo, another bonus point. You get another bonus point, which means if you fill your card, you get diagonal bingos, you get, up and down, you'll get points for all of those. And those will get added to your points. And at the end of the night, we'll already know what all the scores are. And then I've got on the answers tab, you'll see I have all of the totals will already populate over here. So no, we're not going to do a live watch through, Matt. We're not going to do a live watch through. We'll do a summary and we'll say, here's what happened. Right. And we'll just go through the predictions card. What did you think of the episode? Did you like it? Is it good? Is it, all of that. And then we'll go through these answers. And when we do, your totals will come directly right into the form. I've got to finish doing some of the formulas, but you can see how easy it's going to be. So you put in your predictions. I'll send out a link so you can see your Andor cards, and you'll know when you're watching the show how you're doing, right? So you can look to see how you're doing, how other people are doing, like how's Santa doing? Well, oh man, look at that. Oh, I'm killing you guys, right? So that's how it'll go, right? And the points will get tabulated. So what I need from all of you still is we've been collecting questions. And so far, you'll see our questions that we've got all are here, and I've put them on Discord as well. So please be sure to join our Discord. And when you do that, then you can see the answers that we've already gotten. And we can add more. So far we've got like 36 answers, I think. They're all lined up here. If I pick this, let's see, what do we have? Go down to the bottom. Yeah, we have 36 already. We can keep adding more. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Yeah. You go here to the Discord. We have 36. We can keep adding. We get more. So you got to pick 24 of, say, the 36 that are there. Hopefully we get this up to like 40 or 50, and you pick 24. And then what Matt and I discussed it. No, what Matt and I discussed this week is, let's say after episode, or, the first week, you would like to keep your bingo card, your Andor card, for the second week, the same card. You don't want them reshuffled. You don't want different answers. You'd like to keep the same one. What we'll do is, in the thing, we'll say, keep my sheet from last, keep my previous. So all you have to do is put your name in, say, keep my previous, and we'll just bring that straight over. So you don't have to do another, which ones that I did, and am I going to get different spots? You may love the card that you have and you want to keep it. We'll give you that option after week 1, right? Matt says, I suggested 2 more. Oh, very good. We keep coming up with more, and we do need more options. So be sure to come out to Discord to help us out with that, and we'll continue. You have 1 more week to help us get the questions together. And next Friday, when we get together to talk about Star Wars news of the week, we'll look at the final list, and then I will publish out the official Andor prediction sheets and let you start filling them in. And as you fill them in, I'll send you a link to where, and I'll post it. I'll post the link to where you can view your card, and you can then, when you watch the show, follow along. How's it going? It won't be just your card. It'll actually be a link to the sheet that has everybody's card on it. So you'll be able to see if you're beating Risman, or, maybe you don't want to spend that much time. You just want to know what yours are, and you'll be able to keep track of that, right? So that's what we have coming. I'm excited about it. I think it should be a lot of fun. And one last look at the poll. It says, would you like to see members only rant video about Into the Light, the High Republic novel, full of spoilers? Well, of the 16 votes, half of you said yes, right? 20% said no. And then the rest of you said, I don't care either way. So look for that later today. I will post a 15 minutes with Santa, a rant about Into the Light, spoiler review of the High Republic novel that was just released. So we have a Mike Porter dad joke, and we'll get on out of here. Mike Porter dad joke. What do you call it when a pony gets scared in Star Wars? And I'll tell you, we've owned horses. We showed horses around the country growing up, as our kids were growing up. And I was raised with horses, and we showed horses when I was growing up. A horse can get scared over the dumbest things, right? Horses, they're a little flighty that way. You never know what's going to scare a horse. Well, what do you call when a pony gets scared in Star Wars? Well, it's a disturbance in the horse. A disturbance in the horse. Mike Porter, thank you so much. Mike Porter's the best. You guys, somebody in the Streamlabs put in the exclamation point chosen pun, so that folks will get the link to Mike Porter's Twitter X account. It's also in the description here, but you guys, please support Mike Porter, exclamation point chosen pun, and it'll give you the link to his the link to his account, because it's hard to find just Mike Porter. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me all this time. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for all your support with my wife going through her surgery. And we will see you next week, as Star Wars Celebration will be in full effect. So from Peanut, from Peanut and Star Wars Santa, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.